Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. You lot all mad. You lot all mad. I was just about to watch something Saturday night. I thought, yeah, put my feet up, watch something, and then suddenly I realized the whole timeline's going mad, panicking like mad. Rumors left, right, and center. There's over 75 of you already in the building. What's going on, people? You're very, very welcome to my channel. Unfortunately, I'm on my own today. Everyone's let me down. Everyone's let me down. They're all busy, the red fellas themselves. But I thought I'd come and have a chat with you guys if that's okay with you guys. Is that okay with you guys? Oh man, look at the shouts already. Look at the shouts already. Let's just get some comments up here. What's going on? Exactly. What is going on, people? Let us know what you think's going on, and we'll have a chat about it. Evening, girls and boys. Why have you forgotten the boys, Delwyn? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, look, loads of rumors going around, but first and foremost, popcorn gang brushes in the building. Hit that like button before we go any further, and we can discuss, we can talk about it. What's the panic, Mac one says, and then goes on to talk about everything under the sun that he's panic about. Oh man. Yeah, Shaq, good morning to you as well, my brother. Good morning to you. We just thought we have a bit of a chat. Why the panic? What's going on? What's social media saying? What's the rumor? What's the rumor mill saying? Yeah, so look, oh man, I love when you get people from all around the world tuning in. It's midnight in the UK. Let me know where you're tuning in from, and we can talk about what's going on. Wagwan Grizz, yeah, we're gonna talk about what's going on, brother. We're gonna talk about it. Look, man, what's the worst that can be, man? Hope this isn't bad news. What case? What can happen? What's gonna stop us from, you know, putting out a team tomorrow and beating Shrewsbury? Virgilio Santos with the first super chat of the night. Hi, Grizz. Hope you're good. What's the Thiago news? Well, we're going to discuss it because we had Peter Kraweitz doing the press conference today, and he was very coy. I don't know if anybody saw the press conference today. He was very coy about the team news when one of the journalists asked him, what's the situation with the COVID and the injuries? And Peter Kraweitz said, I can't reveal anything, but what I'm hoping is that we're going to put out a team that's going to be competitive and look to win the game tomorrow. And that's all he said. That's all he said. Then he was pressed again in the conversation in the press conference to sort of maybe elaborate a bit more, but he didn't. He refused to. He refused to elaborate. He just said the only player that he mentioned would be Matip might be back. So from there, a lot of Liverpool fans seemingly started panicking, like, oh God, look, apparently Thiago needs surgery. So look, the story of the night seems to be that a lot of rumors going around about Thiago needing surgery is one of them, out for the season is one of them, and then the best of the worst case scenarios that everyone's been giving, I should say, is he's out until March. It's difficult. It's difficult to gauge what is actually going on. I see Team Coppish in the building. Big up, smash the likes. Listen, can you WhatsApp me if you're about? Come on, man. We have a chat. If that's Cal, if that's Drifty, if that's Matt, whoever it is, WhatsApp me and I'll send you the link, or I'll DM you the link. Let's come and have a chat, man. So yeah, look, people obviously going mad about the lineup tomorrow. Oh my God, what kind of lineup we're gonna have? What kind of team we're gonna have out tomorrow? I think we're gonna be okay, man. I think we're gonna be okay. People always have this. Let me see if one of the Coppish lads are about. Sorry, I'm gonna check my phone at the same time. But yeah, look, I can't guide you, man. What am I gonna guide you? We're gonna just discuss, man. People are saying, yeah, what's going on, and like, listen, Yeah, do I ever play that PS5? Of course I do, man. I'm a don at it. Like, what, are you challenging me tomorrow? Are you challenging me to an online game? What was always going to happen? Ibs, tell me, what was always going to happen? This was always going to happen. What? Tell me. Um, you know, people are letting me know, like, what the drama is, what the news is. So look, we go on from what we know, what Peter Kraweitz told us, and all he told us was that he can't go into sort of specifics about players, about who's out, who's in, and rightly so. They're not obliged to tell journalists. They're not obliged to tell us. You know, Shrewsbury, fingers crossed, whatever team we put out should be enough to beat them, right? I'm pretty confident of that. I'm sure you guys are pretty confident of that. But look, there's a predicted lineup going around. Here we go. I just saw one. I just saw one earlier. Oh, it's gone now. So many comments. But look, there's a few lineups going around, and and the state of play is it's fine. It's fine. There's still people recovering. You got to remember, we've just had a week of no training, literally. You know, a couple of days the training ground's been locked down. Um, so we're not going to be taking any risks if there's any people that are sort of slightly injured or not fully recovered. But look, the major news seems to be Thiago. A lot of rumors started swirling around that he's out for the season. Um, if he's out for the season, that would be a crushing blow, people. It would be an absolute crushing blow. I mean, I personally don't believe he's out for the season. I believe it's an ongoing issue that he has that that needs sort of looking after. And look, the fume is not about if the fume is about we knew there was every chance that Thiago could break down. I think that's where the noise and the frustration comes, right? Look, Adam's saying, look, I mean, I'm going to put up people's opinions because that's what it's about. Sharing, share your opinions, and I may disagree, I may agree, and I'll give my opinion on it. We are so strange. There's no chance we're so broke that we can't address the left side centre mid spot a few months early. I don't believe we're that broke either, my friend. I don't. I generally don't believe that. Um, but look, it's something that we spoke about. We all spoke about. When I always say we, I'm talking about me, you guys, the rest of the fellas, the community. We spoke about it, didn't we, all summer, that we do need additions in sort of the areas that we know we're light. And when I say we're light, not in numbers wise, we've never been light numbers wise. Where we're light, we've always discussed, haven't we, that sort of we're light in terms of reliability of the players, not the numbers. So when we're talking about reliability, we're talking about the likes of Thiago, who unfortunately does seem to be out for a prolonged period now. We're talking about Ox, who I say Ox, I've mentioned Ox, but Ox has been actually available for quite a bit of the game season. He hasn't been out for long at all. He's been available, but sort of just in and out of form, just in and out of the team. There was question marks over Ox. There was question marks over Naby Keita. Now, I actually feel sorry for Naby Keita this time, people. I am. I'm going to feel sorry for Naby Keita because this season, he actually started off brilliantly. I'd say to go as far as saying probably our best central midfielder up until he gets kicked. Let's not forget what happened. He was having a storming game at Old Trafford. He was running rings around that Man United midfield, scored the goal, and then he just gets an awful, disgusting challenge from Paul Pogba because he was running rings around him and the others. So look, it's unfortunate these kind of things do happen. They happen. It's unfortunate, but it just look. Mac one in the house again, Mr. Negative. I'm gonna call him because every time, because Naby and Ox never stay fit, bro. I mean, he means fit. I've just told you, bro. Ox stayed fit. Ox has stayed fit. Ox hasn't been injured. I don't recall him being injured for much at all. People, let me know if he has been injured for the rest of the season. Naby, Naby's been unfortunate. Naby's been absolutely unfortunate this time around. He was showing good form. People can't complain about his form, the way he was playing. He was playing really well, and then he gets a horrible, horrible tackle from Pogba. Um, you know, and puts him out. I think I've got a friend. I may have a friend. Whoa, hey. I've got a friend. Hello, friend.
How you doing, guys? You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, man. I just thought I'd come and chat with the community and see where we're at, how we feeling. How are you feeling, man?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Listen. I said I had the spare 20 minutes, so I thought I'd come. I seen you doing the stream. I
Ah,
thought I'd come say hello.
you're a legend. This is why you're a legend, man. This is why um, I can always count on you. But I'm just going through some of the comments and some of the rumors that are going around, and Ox. I don't know why people sort of kick up a fuss about things before they've actually materialized, kind of thing.
Yeah,
But it is what it is. It's one of those ones, isn't it? Look, I agree with you. SA Scouser, South African Scouser, that must be. I feel sorry for Naby. It just never seems to click for him for a variety of reasons. And Conroy, I was just talking about the Naby Keita scenario. I'm going to try to go through one by one. So look, the Naby Keita scenario, Conroy, I was just speaking and saying, look, he's been unlucky this season. Literally, I know unlucky's his middle name since he's been here. But this season, more than the rest, the reason why I say that, Conroy, because in my opinion, I think he's been probably our best player in the central midfield consistently just before he gets that kick from Pogba. Like, what can you do?
yeah. I think overall, though, Naby Keita, Grizz, I think there's some players who just their body will just not allow them to fulfil their potential. I mean, he's not the first, and he won't be the last, and it can't. I know people want to say like he's what his legs are made of, whatever, and it's not going to work out. But there is players who just like that. I do get your statement. I've got to be honest. I think he was good. I think to be fair though, the Atletico Madrid game he scores a great goal, but he actually has a very poor second half. So I don't think every game was amazing, but he definitely looked like you were getting not glimpses. You were getting a solid performance. Like he was given 7 out of 10s, and then he was also impacting games with assists and goals. So that's what you want. People do forget it's a £60 million player, and it's unfortunate what's happened for him. And I am sympathetic, but I think what you said a couple of days ago as well. I feel like this summer there's definitely going to be decisions made with regard to Ox and Naby. I think you said maybe they looked at the previous summer there. Like we'll give them this year and we'll see where we're at. We'll have to review it, and I think that will be the case.
Yeah, look, big up King State in the building as well, man. He says, I hope you're well, hope you're well too. Naby is a baller. He reminds me, and this is an Arsenal fan saying, Naby is a baller. He reminds me of Diaby. They have all the potential in the world, but way too many injuries. Man, Diaby was one fantastic footballer. Absolute fantastic. And you're right. Absolutely. Injuries killed him. Conrad, I don't know if you see any comments that you want to pick up and we pick up on. Like, I'm going through them as well. But yeah, I agree with you. Look, the whole drama, the whole debate, the main debate around the summer was, do we bring in a central midfielder? Who can we pick up? Or do we? See, the thing is, look, I absolutely agreed that we should bring in a central midfielder, another body, a reliable body in that part of the pitch. But Conrad, what I tried to do and what I tried to do is try to see it from another perspective, and from Klopp, coaching staff, and the owners as a collective. And the only rationale thinking that I could make of it was, as you said, see if Ox, Naby, let's not forget Curtis Jones and Elliott as a four can make up for the minutes that Ginny played. And not only the minutes, but the variety of skills that those four possess. Now, we know Elliott started off like a house on fire, and we know what happened to Elliott. Curtis Jones didn't start off in terms of form-wise very well, but since then, just when he was about to get form, he got this weird, strange eye injury.
Yeah, and when he has played as well, he's not always had games to follow. I think Jones doesn't get a fair crack of the whip sometimes, to be honest. But no, just on that, Grizz, I absolutely agree. I actually think, see, to be honest, I know you said before I came on, I think Ox is actually He's done okay. I think we'll judge at the end of the season, but I still feel like it's maybe not as much attacking, but I think we've probably not seen like Henderson's poor form recently and the defensive transitions. That's where I feel like we're missing Genie. And like, I'm not the first person to say that. Loads of people have said that. It's when we're on a turnover. Just like Genie was so good at reading certain transitions and getting back in defensively. And I feel like you've just noticed that. I mean, how many goals have we conceded where it's been like from a failing in that department? So I think it's highlighting that.
I even though I've mentioned the 4 players, I think the issue also lies with what you said is, so we've got those 4 players that we're hoping to give many more minutes to. So we're hoping that Ox stays fitter, we're hoping Naby stays fitter, and we're hoping Elliott and Jones shine through, right? Like that, the potential that they are.
Yep.
So we're not expecting them to play 20 plus games. We're expecting them to come into 10, 12 games and gain more experience and get used to the system and become regulars for seasons to come. Ox and Naby, I've always said, are X factors. Not only in terms of they bring that X factor, but sometimes we don't know what X stands for in terms of value.
Yeah, I get that.
So you get what I mean? So because they haven't shown their true value. And that's where the frustration lies. Because apart from them, who do we have? We have Fabinho, who misses his fair share of games.
That's becoming more apparent as well.
We have a certain James Milner who should be only playing in terms of emergencies when we haven't got
the last 20 minutes of a game to see it out. Yeah.
And then we've got Mr. Jordan Henderson, who divides opinion. I know what you think of him, but just divides opinion. And a lot of people have a frustration why he was given such a long-term contract, knowing that he misses games through injury as well. And then we come to a certain Thiago, which has been the topic of the night. Just quickly rounding up, Conroy, before you came, I was speaking about Thiago and the rumours that he's out for the season.
Yeah, I saw a bit of that on Twitter.
I asked a few friends and whatnot, and I don't believe he's out for the season, but it is an ongoing issue.
Yeah.
And that's caused the frustration and the panic, which is absolutely understandable, because even though we may not have the next couple of weeks that are crucial games in terms of the the League Cup, the FA Cup, we're very, very quickly coming up to the Champions League again, which seems to be our main, or should be our main, not should be, league should be still our focus, but will be our main focus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to take that comment?
Yeah. So Klopp FSG and our recruitment team learning the hard way. I said in summer the midfield was an accident waiting to happen. Do you know, I tend to agree, Siddy, maybe not an accident waiting to happen. I understand what Grizz has said, the logic behind it, but I did feel that people probably heard this 100 times, but Gini Wijnaldum's best quality, especially in the last year, was availability. And times that's what we've been missing this season. And I agreed. I think Grizz probably was touching that in the past as well, about there were certain targets that were gettable in the summer and we hadn't. But to add to the Thiago thing as well, Grizz, I do feel like sometimes with just the culture now, and we both spoke about this in the past, it just seems to be that like it's just everyone's going a bit chaotic at the moment because of these rumours, but we've not really had anything substantial. Well, I've not heard anything substantial yet on that. I think if it is an injury, it's only maybe going to be to, hopefully it'll be back before the Inter game, but we'll just have to see where it's at. We need to wait till we find out more information on it.
Yeah, look, it's always frustrating, isn't it, when you hear about sort of something, and it does tend to look. Social media is such a place these days where it's so difficult to keep news away, like real news away from it. It can work both ways. Recently it's tended to be true. Sort of leaked lineups, leaked injury news, it's tended to be true. As I said, I don't believe he's out for the season. I do know it's an ongoing issue. And when someone says ongoing issue, because that's all I got, ongoing issue, to speculate on time is futile. How long? You just can't gauge, how long someone is out. It's going to be, but that is frustrating. Rames with a super chat. Hi, my friend. Another unnecessary transfer gamble costing us. It was a transfer gamble. We're not going to sit here and say it wasn't a gamble. What I will say is, even when you make transfers, it's a gamble. Would you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, no, listen, I think anything can happen in football. I think that the hard one for probably the chat as well is we all know at the time that we knew Genie was going to leave. Like it wasn't like a couple of days and he left. We kind of knew in advance. And right now, Grizz, I don't know if you feel the same. That it kind of echoes the centre back the previous summer when we didn't get a centre back when we should have had. We should have. But it's for this one. I don't think it was. I felt it should have been, but there is definitely an argument to why we didn't. But yes, I mean the availability, like people like Naby, and then obviously you've seen Henderson as well. That's just piling on the now, and I think it's just bringing up all these kind of emotions that we had in the summer.
Yeah, look, it's difficult. It's difficult to stay sort of, what's the word? Calm. Calm's sort of, I don't, people can react in how they want. And that's all part of the parcel of being a fan. There's no
Yeah,
correct way of being a fan. Absolutely. There's no way I'm going to sit here and tell people how they should, be a fan of Liverpool. But I think there is a difference between supporting and just being a fan. Like, if you want to support a club and players, then, like, for example, look, El Lad, who's got a picture of someone that you'd expect to be supportive of, says season's done. Let's just blood fresh, promising young talents like Harvey Elliott, Cade Gordon, Musilowski, and Jones. I'm tired of old injury-prone players who can't be trusted. Focus on the future. Well, El Lad, I think you will have two, three of those four players playing tomorrow. So, you've got something to look forward to. Cheer up, lad. It's not over. Season's not done. Absolutely not done. Elliott's obviously making his way back from injury, but I think the other three will be getting some game time. So look forward to that, my friend. Go on, Conray. I've just got some couple of super chats I want to
no,
bring up.
I was just going to say that that comment. And it's fair enough what you're saying. I think we do have to remember though we're still in quite a lot of competitions, and it's easy to bleed the youngsters and completely get that. But from my point of view, football, you always need a balance in that. And you need maybe some experience. And I don't mean young and old. I mean a few middle-aged players in there as well, of course. But we need to stop thinking that, like, one, Harvey Elliott's going to be that consistent as well when he comes back. I think he's great potential and he will be a top player, hopefully. But every young player is also not Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott has literally been signed from Fulham when he was 16, and there's lots of clubs in for him. He's an exception to the rule, if you know what I'm saying. So I get the sentiment of blood youngsters, and hopefully it's definitely improved in the last couple of years, trying to be similar to Chelsea with Trent coming in the team, Jones getting in the team, the signing of Elliott, and hopefully people like Cade Gordon can go the same way. I completely agree with that. However, I would say you need to always have some players who are that middle ground in the team as well to compete, because there's not many. If you look at just the standard of the Premier League football right now, Grizz, there's not many who can just like do like a United and the class in '92. But even that class in '92 still had some very experienced players in it as well. So it wasn't just the youngsters. But I find it very difficult to do that nowadays. You need to still recruit well.
Let's try and get through these super chats and discuss what people have got to say. Tahir Qureshi with a super chat. Appreciate that, bro. Every summer we wait, nothing happens. Why are we waiting for summer? We need players now. How does sell to buy work when we haven't replaced Genie? We'll take the other one as a collective. So that's that one. And then succession plan in midfield, pixelated pigeon. Thank you. Amazing name. I don't know. I don't know. Some of the people's imagination for names is stunning. Succession plan in midfield? Question mark. No issue trusting youngsters, but too many senior players now lean towards luxury options rather than industrious ones. Me and you have sort of discussed both of these things, haven't we? In terms of succession planning, as pixelated pigeon says, and what Tahir says, like, why do we always have to wait? We're not very reactionary in the transfer market. Our business, as we discussed, when we do it, it's brilliant. It's probably one of the best sort of analytical teams, recruitment teams around. We just don't do enough of it. And that's frustrating, isn't it, Conray?
Well, I feel like we had this conversation I think it was Avi, we spoke about it, and we said, see that analytical team, they probably get frustrated at times, because I guarantee if you went in their office, you'd probably find list and list of potential targets that we've not got that have ended up proven brilliant. So
Yeah.
I would absolutely say, and to be fair, I don't know the stats, but I know they put a lot of money into the analysts, like trying to get ahead of the curve. I think they've done that a couple of years ago, and it's really proved itself. But it's just, it is frustrating, Grizz. See, what it gets frustrating is when it's an obvious one. You know, like the centre-back last year and potentially the CM in the summer, you saw it was an area that needed filled, and it just wasn't. And that would be 2 years in a row where it's really not. It's not well, it's maybe causing an issue. I still think it's a little bit early now, because they say we're still in the Champions League semi-final this week coming up. Let's be honest, you could be very optimistic and say we're still in the league. I don't think we are, but who knows, anything can happen. So listen, let's not chuck the baby out with the bathwater. There's still plenty to compete for, but it feels very reminiscent, and I think that's causing a lot of frustration.
It is. It's the build-up, isn't it? Look, we're literally at the halfway stage. Maybe just a tad past halfway stage.
Yeah.
We are in every single competition as we speak, right? Technically, literally, right? In every single competition. We are not favourites for the Premier League title, but I'd say we are pretty much favourites, or in the top 2 or 3 for every other competition. Now, as a football club, Conroy, we can only, and how often do people talk about, we can't guarantee success, but we can try to sort of build a foundation where we can give ourselves the best opportunity. Now, some would argue that we tend not to give ourselves the best opportunity to actually be successful. Now, you know, it's very difficult. It's fine margins, Conroy. This is what frustrates me from both sides, because I always try to see the argument from both sides. I get the argument. For example, I was having one with my mates, and I was like, you know, the argument that gets thrown, we literally just won one league, one Champions League, if we don't count the Super Cup and the other cup, whatever it's called, whatever, one league,
World Cup,
World Club Cup, and the European Super Cup.
Yep.
We've won one Premier League, one Champions League under Klopp's tenure. That's a wasted tenure, they say, of having one of the glorious best managers in world football. But Conroy, the other side to that is we're literally this much away from winning the double.
Yep.
And a dislocation of a shoulder away from winning another Champions League. Now you suddenly add 2 Premier League titles, 2 Champions Leagues in 6 years, and you're thinking, "Wow, what an era that was!"
Yeah.
It's context, application of context, and just fine margins, and then sometimes accepting that you was playing in the same era as one of the most oil-rich clubs ever formed, under the stewardship of one of the greatest coaches.
Probably, I think this has been going up a lot, and people try not to dispute it, but I think Man City might just be the greatest Premier League team ever.
They're on the way, Conroy.
They got 100 points, Chris. They got 100 points, right?
On a regular.
We got 97 points and didn't win a league, right? Now, thank God we won a Champions League that year and won a Premier League the following season, because I guarantee you that's all you would hear for the rest of our lives is you got 97 points and you still didn't win the league. It's like, I think the levels that City, you have to beat City, are extraordinary. We were that. And the thing is, I'm quite level-headed. You know I'm quite level-headed. I'm not one to jump on the boat. And if I'm saying that, it's definitely like a clear mindset to say, because unlike others, I'm very honest about, not in this channel, but I'm very honest about City, the quality. Like, for us to do that, I actually think is incredible. Like, you cannot win a league now with, you have to be maybe 4 out of 5 seasons. It's going to be about 90 points or maybe 87 now at the minimum. It's just, the levels are ridiculous now. Grizz, you can't go away. If you draw at Stamford Bridge, that's a bad result now. You have to win at Stamford Bridge. It's insane, and it's that's what annoys me. The context annoys me in it as well, because let's see another team win a title over City. Why haven't exactly? No, but we'll call it right now. I'd say in the next 4 years, do you think anyone else will win the league? Maybe in one of those years, you can always have it off year. I do understand that, like even City can, but I'd say 3 out of the next 4, City. If someone who isn't us beats them, if Chelsea, for example, probably the runners to do that. But I just think they're on a different level, Grizz. Really do. Like they don't draw. They either lose one game and win 15. It's a scary level, and I think you're absolutely right. The context of Jurgen Klopp beating that team in our squad, which is a great team, don't get me wrong, was like the levels we were playing at. 99 points. Crazy.
It is. And sometimes you forget how difficult it is to sort of raise the levels and standards where we were and where we came from. And look, we're going to have a whole deep conversation like we've been planning behind the scenes. We're going to have a proper deep conversation in terms of the whole FSG people. We're not going to shy away from this topic. Like me, Conroy, Evan, Keith and Avi all have differing opinions, different perspectives. So we're not going to shy away from it. We're not here to blow up, hot air up FSG's ass, but we're not here to rant and rave and shout because there's nothing literally what we can do. We'll only make ourselves be clipped up all over social media.
No. I think on that show we'll each come in with a different side, because me and Grizz could go proper into it right now, but that's not really fair on other guys as well, because we literally had this conversation last night that we're going to do a show on this.
Start blocking. The bots are out. People start blocking.
Some idiots in the chat.
Exactly, you're going to get that. But look, we had a couple of super chats that I wanted to get through. Look, Shaq says FSG did not want to renew Hendo contract, but they had to as Klopp stepped in. That's actually very true. Was there a scenario where they wanted to spend elsewhere, other mids? Again, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that we will absolutely spend in central midfield. It has to be. There's absolutely no option.
Yeah.
Logically, business-wise, on the pitch, in every aspect, in every way, there's no scenario where we don't bring in at least a central midfielder.
Does it not frustrate you, Grizz? Because, like, I don't know about you, I'm not looking for 80 million signings. I'm just talking about smart recruitment. There's literally clubs below us who've made a few signings when I thought, that's quite a good signing. Like, it doesn't need to be a Hollywood signing. That's what annoys me the most. Like, I think there's recruitment and deals to be done. And that becomes the most annoying thing.
I'm going to have to go on. I'm going to have to just quickly get off this screen and put slow mode on. Take up the conversations just give me 10 seconds.
No worries, Grizz. Mr. Dare I say it, Drift, obviously from the Coppish family. How are you doing? How confident are you will win the EPL and FSG not changing their transfer policy, Conroy, in 5 years' time? My opinion, in 5 years, we'll be struggling for top 4. Interesting point. Listen, I think we'll get this more into the FSG show that we're planning, but I do feel like just a snippet in my opinion on it, and maybe some other guys as well, is I think the model FSG has worked. It has worked. It has been successful. But I feel like the way football's going now, and it's going to keep going that way, especially like with Newcastle getting money as well, that I feel like there has to be either changes to it, because that, in my opinion, is not sustainable anymore for us to get consistent top 4. But I think right now, I'd probably say I'm indifferent. I'm not sure. I'm kind of on the fence of if we still can probably get top 4. But the problem I've got is, like, Klopp can work miracles at times. But what happens when Klopp goes? That's when I feel like we'll maybe see how much of a job he's been pulling off. So we'll get more into that in FSG show. Right now, I'd say that is a possibility. By all means, that is a possibility. And the strategy and model definitely needs to be updated. But we'll get more into that in the show. I don't want to steal
absolutely. Look, we absolutely appreciate and respect the super chat, so we have to speak about it. And you, by all means, if you feel that strongly about it, send us a super chat and I will discuss it. But just on that, we will 100%, as I said, we will have a mega show near the end of the window. An absolute mega show where we will look into it completely.
It's already been planned. We literally done it the other night.
Exactly. It's not based on just the panic stations of today and the news of Thiago injury. Adams, thank you very much for the super chat. He says it's strange because we, United and Liverpool, are the biggest clubs in the country, and from the outside looking in, FSG are treating you, man, like dickheads, respectfully. Stop using City as an excuse. Our clubs are big enough. It's not an excuse, Adams, with all due respect. It's reality. It's factual that they are the richest club in world football. They have one of the all-time great coaches ever, in my opinion. We are absolutely run a certain way. We cannot afford to be run like Man City run their club. But just like Conroy said, I do accept that we haven't done enough activity in the player recruitment side. So try to see where I'm coming from, people. I'm not making excuses and saying City's, that's it. The rest of us just give up. We sit on our hands and we give up. I'm actively saying, I'm without doubt saying that we haven't done enough activity. So there is ways, and we've shown it, Conrad, as Conrad said, we've shown it that it can be done. We've literally gone toe to toe with them, bar one season where we had truckload of injuries. To go toe to toe with them, it's not a defeatist attitude. It's a realist. Like some people chat about, oh, we're being real here, Grizz. There's no point being second. Well, tell that to the other fucking 19, 20 teams there are that trying to compete with this juggernaut. It ain't easy.
And I think the frustrating thing is, Grizz, there's some signings we look at, like, we'll get into it more. We're not talking about £80 million signings. We're talking about realistic signings that could give us a better chance. And that, I think, and add to the depth. I think that's the most frustrating thing, because in my opinion, so I'm not talking about spending hundreds of millions in January or in summer. It's just strategic recruitment that is definitely out there. For example, in the summer, Leicester signed. Now, it might not work out, but Sumari, for example. Now, right, there might be more analytics done into that, but that was someone who was gettable for a reasonable price. I'm not saying we would have done that, but that's the type of recruitment I'm talking about. Something like that, I think, would add to us, and there's deals to be done there, and that's the frustrating thing. I feel like a few signings here and there could really give us a much better opportunity.
Tahir with a super chat says, you can increase the stadium, you can make a new training ground, but the main profit comes for the first team winning cups. What's the point of it all? I disagree that it's the main profit comes from the thing, but I absolutely agree your sentiment, like where you're coming from, in terms of that can be done along with making sure your team is given, or your coach is given, the best possible resources right on the pitch. And I agree with you, Tahir. What I'm saying is, it has to be a collective effort. I don't believe that it's just about not looking after that side of the things, the business side of things. Like, we wouldn't be where we are without the new stadium and the new training ground and the players coming through. But I absolutely agree, Tahir, that there has to be adequate. Make sure that your coach is given the best tools. And look, we will discuss Jurgen Klopp's role in this as well. There is a very key element that people just go straight, and you've often mentioned this, that people go straight to the owners, regardless of whatever the scenario is, whatever the situation is, straight for the owners' throats. There is an absolute humongous elephant in the room, and that is Jurgen Klopp and how he views and thinks. But we will discuss that. That. That is one of the things.
We won't even need an agenda for this show, Chris. Don't worry about it. Just switch the camera on.
I don't want to miss out on people's super chat, Conroy. So
keep an eye.
Rahil says, thank you for the super chat. Grizz, I get you, but let's be real. We have done less than the minimum to compete with City. We don't even fix our own problems, let alone worry about City's dominance. I've said that, Rahil. I don't know if Conroy wants that. I agree with you. Absolutely. What you've said there, I absolutely agree with you. Sorry, was there anything that you wanted to add?
No, I agree with that. You're just adding to it. Really good comment. The chat's always great with the comments, to be fair.
I mean, that's true. I mean, look, what he said that. Look, I don't think we have done enough. I literally don't think we have enough. We have a couple of more people coming out with some very great points, and look, there is some that you can't disagree with. It's absolutely true. Antiochill, who's a regular in the chat, has been on a call-in show as well. He says, big up you two. Thoughts on Trent going in midfield and signing a right back? And I feel a lot of Trent's plays and deliveries come from central this season. I've made my feelings very clear. I think as long as Jurgen Klopp is the coach of Liverpool Football Club, Trent shall not move from that position. Maybe sort of slight variations like we've seen this season, tactically in and out of possession. I genuinely don't think we will see him. I don't know about what you think, Conrad.
No, I agree. I think I understand. I think the media doesn't help because they bring it up every month. It's very hard to be a central midfielder. You have to think completely different. I don't know why Trent would want to move because literally when he's right back, he has everything in front of him. He can see everything. He can utilise his passing ability. And I think maybe a balanced compromise is Trent gets in central areas through right back because it's at the movement, which it allows him different points to do that during the game. But actually being there all the time, it's very hard. It's a completely different role to be a central midfielder. I think, anyway, people might disagree. But on that as well, I feel like the reason, just to add, because it's a really good comment, see, because the way we've played with the kind of triangle as well, it's allowed Trent to come inside at times. But I think Klopp's done that so it's not been predictable. Last season, there was times where it's like Trent goes out wide, whips it in. I think we're trying to add to the patterns they play. But for me, he has to stay as right back, become the best right back ever. And then that should be his aim. Because I think the numbers he's putting
and he's
up...
well on the way. He's well on the way.
Absolutely.
Despite what people say, he's well on the way without even... I don't even think he's 2 years away from his peak.
No, it's different to be a central midfielder as well, Grizz. Like, there's so much other stuff you have to... It's like you don't just have to think about... You've got to be quick. Everyone's on you. Whereas at least there, I just think with his ability, it suits him so well.
Adams, Man United fan who talks a lot of sense, sends a super chat and says, you have the only manager that can go up against Pep right now, and your owners are not taking advantage of it.
That's a great
Liverpool
comment.
Is a worldwide franchise. I
That's
can't
a great
disagree
comment.
with that.
Well, that's a really
I
good
absolutely agree that we have the best manager. The only manager currently, in my opinion, as you say, Adams, in probably world football. I personally, I would put Conte on that, but obviously we're not going to see that now. But sort of
with the tools that he's got.
But I put Conte in the top 3 or 4 managers.
No, I think so as well. I think it's a brilliant manager.
And I absolutely agree with you. Liverpool is a worldwide franchise. I just think it's not just the owners, Adams. And again, without wanting to go deep into it, because we want to get into sort of what kind of lineup we're expecting tomorrow, what kind of the situation with the injuries and everything. And there's a certain goalkeeper. Hold fire, people. There's a certain goalkeeper that could be starting tomorrow. Smash the like button before we get into the nitty-gritty of it. While you're here, people in the chat, there's over 400 of you. Smash that like button. Look at the effort Conroy's put in to come in to join me today. He didn't have to do this.
Yeah, I was in the middle of watching Prometheus, but it's okay.
Oh, okay, good.
I've seen it before. It's okay. You know, I like it. It's a bit like mixed reviews, but I liked Prometheus. Thought it was good.
Conroy, if I've missed a super chat, can you let me know? Because I'm not sure how we have.
Raheel, so I'll just click on this now, Grizz.
Go for it. No, we've done that one.
Done that one, that's fine.
Yeah, I've got it. It's this one.
Dan.
Dan with the super chat. Thank you, bro. He says, we are playing a different game than City. FSG look at LFC as an asset and maximizing return on that asset. Investing to challenge is too risky. Again, brilliant comment. Brilliantly said. Not much at this stage. I can argue with that. Conroy, is there anything that you want to put on from the other side?
No, I agree. The thing is that annoys me, I don't want to repeat myself, but I think FSG, if they made a few additional recruitments here and there, a few different decisions that didn't cost near as much as City spend, they would not get as much flack. Like, it would probably quiet down quite a lot. But because they don't, it allows them to be open for the criticism. And I agree. We're getting used like the Moneyball model, but let's be honest, it seems to be right now. It's that comment about not taking advantage, I think, is a really good way of summing it up. That's how I kind of feel towards it now. So it's a good comment.
Raheel, I haven't missed your super chat. Thank you for reminding me. Sorry, my brother. Imagine we actually did what we needed to do last summer, a forward and a midfielder. We are with City at the top, guaranteed. This is the issue. Raheel, I'm going to disagree. I'm just going to give you my opinion, bro. This is in direct response to what you've put. And with all due respect, and as I said, I absolutely respect and appreciate the super chat. Nothing comes with a guarantee, bro. Nothing does. imagine we bring in a midfielder and he's one of the ones that breaks his legs or gets an injury in the first week. There has to be some form of calculated method to the madness in terms of our structure and our recruitment. And yes, hindsight, absolutely. I agree with we should have brought one in. Before I go any further, Rahil, I agree we should have brought a midfielder and a forward in. But what I refuse to believe and accept is that we would have been at the top guaranteed. Nothing, you can't guarantee that. Do you get what I'm saying? So that mindset of ours, like, if we brought in one more player, we wouldn't be X, Y, Z. We can't say that. I don't believe that, and I wouldn't say that. But that doesn't mean you try to give yourselves the best opportunity. And I agree with that part.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I think. I mean, look, I don't want to keep repeating myself. That's the only thing that shouldn't keep you nervous. The Thiago news, yep. A certain goalkeeper starting for us tomorrow, yep. The Salah contract, it's just tactical. It's all.
I'm going to clip up. I'm going to clip up. I'm going to work with Avi. I'm going to clip up every time you said that over the past 2 months, right? And then see when it gets announced, I'm going to just have it.
Yeah. Look, I get the nervousness. I get people getting nervous about it and itchy feet about it.
No, but I'm saying you put me at ease, so I'm going to get that. And we need to put that on after.
That's something that we don't need to be nervous about. 100%. Dathi Fitzgerald with a super chat. It would have been brilliant if you said something, but shout out to yourself, man. I would have read it out for you. Grizz with the semantics. I mean, I don't know. Conroy, I don't know. What should I say?
I think like we've got. Honestly,
I mean, look, I don't mind bringing up these comments. Like, I like bringing up comments that not all lovely jubby, But
no, but I think we're going to get into it. See, the show is going to be like a massive show, guys. Like, we've put it in the diary for that reason. So that's why we're trying to just be like just a little bit about it and not go in depth as we can.
Yeah, look, Mr. Dare I say it drift with a super chat says next season we'll get top 4 convincingly for a while. Look, I don't think it's a top 4 team at all at the moment or squad, and I don't think it's that drastic where we have to start worrying about our top 4 place, right? So that's that side of things. I'm adamant that our future isn't about securing top 4. But I also agree that in order for that to happen, there has to be certain level activity in the summer. That's where we're at, right? We agree where we need to do. We agree that it should have been done this summer, but I've tried to give you my breakdown and the thinking that could have been the thought process, about the 4 central midfielders that we pretty much didn't see.
Yeah, you need to do that, Grizz, as well. I think it's very easy, and I've done it myself, where you get like very not tunnel vision. That's wrong because it's quite an obvious thing that's happening, and we're annoyed and frustrated. But sometimes you have to look at it from the other side. But I understand that completely. But right now, it just looks like very frustrating.
Dan with the super chat says, not here to defend FSG. They invested, they bought Thiago, Naby, etc. They are Moneyball personified. They'd rather take a punt on Elliot, Trent types. Pretty much what we covered, Dan. Pretty much what we covered. I'm on the fence with them until this summer. I know I said it last summer, but I tried to look at it from every aspect, like I said, and I gave myself one more summer in terms of where I'm at, in terms of totally where I'm at with this ownership. Because do you remember we discussed, Conroy?
Yeah.
They get credit, but where does that credit run out?
Yeah. And I know people might just be thinking but genuinely, like, behind the scenes, we've been talking about this show for a reason, because it's getting to that stage
so
now.
Many different, because there's so many different talking points and aspects. And
like we had 4 people behind the camera and we all had a different take on it. So this is why it's like the show needs to be done. There's definitely we need to look into so many things, but really it's getting to that point now, Grizz. It is becoming some of the decision making now is just feels like it's wrong. We're missing an opportunity. That's what it feels like. But as I say, we'll get into that massively in the show.
Usman with a super chat. Welcome, brother. It says City actually have the smaller squad in the big six. Pep develops them into playing multiple positions well. If Salah is gone, it's dead. City can lose KDB. Well, there you go. That is something that's not FSG's fault per se. Then, yeah. See, then we come into the realms of Klopp, coaching, etc., etc. I don't personally believe City have got the smallest squad in the big six, but if you're suggesting that they have, and it's because of Pep Guardiola that there's a difference in points or whatever, then that is an aspect. I don't believe. I believe you may be a City fan, Usman. Let us know. I think you may be a City fan. Tahir sends a super chat in and he says, our players are mentally and physically tired. If they get injured, there's no replacement. Then we are stuck. Our bench is weak. Conroy, anything to add on to that?
Yeah, I think I think like the additions were needed because even at times you can buy someone and it's not be there for various reasons in a season, especially injury. But I think one of the comments said that you obviously got rid of Shaqiri and Gini and didn't really replace that, and we already probably had quite a light squad on certain days because of injuries. So yeah, it does feel that it's. I agree with that one. It's difficult. We just don't help ourselves at times, and that's the thing.
Dathy, my brother. First and foremost, let me guess. I think you are from New Zealand. So let me know. And when you send a super chat, say something, my friend. We're here to talk to you. I really appreciate the super chat, but say something. This is your platform. Attitude with another super chat says, boys, rate Spider-Man No Way Home. I have 10. I can't rate it. I'm so sorry because I haven't seen it, but Conroy has. So over to Conroy.
Yeah, I love movie questions, so thanks for that. I'm going to go. I'm actually a bit fed up with superhero movies now, as my girlfriend will agree with. But I've got to be honest, I think that one just gave the fans what they wanted. So I'd actually probably say 9.5 or probably 10 out of 10 because it just gave the fans what they wanted. And I can't tell you why because you've not seen it. But if you know in the chat, you know, honestly, who's your real? Put in the chat. Who's your OG Spider-Man? Who's the best Spider-Man? Put it in the chat.
Wow, so it's a debate, right? Is it close, do you think?
I can't. For me, I think I'm old school. I'm Tobey Maguire all the way.
Okay,
but
fair enough. I'll have to watch it, man. I'll have to watch it.
It's very good, mate. Honestly, it's brilliant. It really is good. It's you enjoy it. I'm fed up with superhero movies, and I loved it. So that just shows you.
Mr. Dare I Say It Drift says, we supposedly make record-breaking revenue. We do. Nike deal, UCL, EPO, prize money. Someone is lying because I don't believe it. FSG General say anymore we're broke. We're not broke. We're not broke. We have been hit like many other football clubs that don't have sugar daddies, oligarchs, states of countries running them. If you try to work it out, not many other clubs have done much activity since COVID has struck. It's been only the named people that have run these clubs that I've said, but we're not broke. They will have run out of excuses if nothing happens this summer and there is no activity. Again, it's for me personally, people hate me, angry with me, unsubscribe, do what you got to do. For me, it's not about how much we spend. For me, it's about activity, doing what we need to do, position for position, squad member for squad member. For me, it doesn't matter if someone's 20 million or 100 million. If we think he's the right player, and as I said, our recruitment analysis has been spot on, near enough, 75% success rate. Yeah. That's what I want.
But that's the thing as well, Grizz. You've got the analyst there who can actually find, I'm not going to say bargains because that makes it a bit like that smart business is definitely out there. Like, just look at the proof in our previous signings, and that's frustrating. So, yeah, that I agree, Grizz. Like, you can spend 60 million on a fullback, and City have done that, and they had to go and buy another one. Like, so how much you spend. Look, Manchester United spent 80 million on Harry Maguire. It's about being smart with what you're spending. We spent 75 million on Virgil van Dijk, and at the time was getting called a version of Chris Smalling. And look at us now. So on that, our decision making is quite good when it comes to recruitment. It annoys me at times where I feel like we could utilise that more.
Usman has revealed his favourite team. It's Arsenal. He says, they do, Grizz. I counted it myself. Okay. I'm an Arsenal fan, but watch them a lot. Plays a fluid system. This brother beat PSG with Zinchenko as false nine. He's the greatest of all time. I won't disagree with the final sentence about he's the greatest of all time. I think he's definitely up there. By the time he's finished, he will 100% be up there as one of the greatest of all time. It's subjective whether he is or whether he isn't, given the resources he gives. But obviously then you weigh into the way he plays and the style of football that he brings to every club that he goes to and gives you trophies. So again, that's a show in itself, probably. You know,
he gets world-class players to play like they're in like work. That sounds working hard. I hate when people say that, but what I mean is he gets them to play in a system. So maybe 10 years ago, you've got like they're allowed to be passengers, but when you get world-class players to play like the system 100 miles an hour, like, you know, pressing like that, that's a skill in itself. And
it is a skill, absolutely.
Klopp is exactly the same, but Klopp's had to build his team up, whereas maybe Pep's bought them in. But either way, it's still very impressive.
That's me told about New Zealand. It's Davy is David in Irish, so that's an Irish name. So why didn't you know that? All right, you know.
I didn't know that one. Sorry.
Come on, up your game.
I know.
Like I can get things wrong. Well, you should.
I know. To be fair, I really didn't know. I really didn't know that one. So like,
where did I get? I thought, you know what? Fitzgerald. I used to watch rugby union a lot. Back in the day, Conway. Like you wouldn't believe it, but I was massive into rugby union. And I was a massive fan of the Kiwis, the All Blacks, you know, especially. And they had one of their legendary captains was someone in the chat will know because this chat's amazing. Scott Fitzgerald. I believe his first name was Scott. And that's where I thought Fitzgerald, New Zealand. You see where I tried to...
I see that. No, I see that, yeah.
You see that, yeah?
Yeah.
Arsenal spent 150 million in the summer, no sugar daddies.
Arsenal spend money, yeah. They do spend money.
Yeah, Arsenal have spent money after not spending money for years. You got to remember, they put all their money into the training ground.
Also spent 80 million in Pepe. Let's remember that as well.
Well, not only that, but they spent money after dropping out of the top four and then spent 150 trying to get back in the top four. We're not at that stage, brother. We're not at that stage yet.
What I was meaning, Chris, is the Pepe ones. Like, I'm not saying Pepe's terrible, but like it's a lot of money on someone. So what I was meaning when I said Van Dijk is it's smart purchases. Like if you're spending the money, it doesn't matter if it's 60 or 30. If it's the right purchase, it suits your system. That's what I mean. I think it's important to do that. You could waste a lot of money and not get much back.
This is for you.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant because Tom Holland, my girlfriend's right. She's going to love this. Tom Holland's a Tottenham fan, Grizz. So that's why Shaq's saying that. Tom Holland, a.k.a. no trophies back home.
Amazing.
Brilliant Shaq.
We've got Messi in the building. Messi FC says, weird that we're in the race longer last season. I'm not only FSG out, I'm also aware Klopp isn't innocent. Whatever happens, someone needs to leave.
I would much rather FSG leave and Klopp stays, I'll be honest with you. I don't have to wait for the FSG show to say that. But I just think, listen, no one's blameless. I get that. But let's be honest, I think sometimes...
It's mad though, isn't it? Look at the anger and frustration. Okay, look at the frustration leading to anger, leading to Messi putting in a super chat and saying also where Klopp's not innocent. Like sometimes I think, Connery, as fans, we're so hard to please. Now, I'm not talking about the ones that just want activity like myself and yourself, but sort of turning that into sort of anger that when we have to win the league and beat Man City, it's quite something. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, to be honest, guys, maybe I'm looking at maybe half full, but see if we're just competing like competing and getting in the top four. Like, I want us to win every season. Do not get me wrong.
No one doesn't, because then people, you know what people throw at you?
Yeah, like you're just settling in.
Defeats,
But
settling.
Britannia 6-1 is ingrained in my mind.
Settling for
years.
mediocrity is the dumbest shouts, one of the dumbest shouts on Twitter ever.
Yeah, no, what I mean is, like, I just feel like where we were to where we are now is like, I can accept not competing and getting top four and winning trophies, right? As long as we're competing. What I mean in that is, like, you can't win a trophy. You can't win every competition. Something can always happen, especially in cup competitions. Obviously, I want us to be competing and using the squad we have to build a dynasty. Absolutely. But maybe, for example, last season, see, when the injury crisis and people were losing their head and stuff, I was a bit more calm because I understood the circumstances, what happened, and also, like, Britannia 6-1 and Crystal Palace 3-1 at Anfield for Steven Gerrard's last two games are stuck in my mind, like, constantly. So the fact that that's how we ended our one of our greatest players into where we are now, like, there is a bit of perspective in it. But I do agree, we need to take advantage right now because it's very easy to fall. Look at United, look at Arsenal. It's very, very easy to fall. And once you're out there, it's definitely harder to get back in it. We've seen it. We have seen it.
Agree with that. In my opinion, Dan says, in my opinion, FSG not the right owners after we stopped being a selling club. What does he mean by that? Like, in terms of players wise, probably?
I think probably, does it mean because after the continue, obviously that helped a lot with it, and the Suarez as well.
Yeah, LFC is now a destination, not a stop along the way. Ambition and risk go together.
That's an interesting point, actually.
I can't disagree with that.
Yeah, it was Sean Fitzgerald, by the way, I think, or Fitzpatrick.
People are saying it.
Since Sean Fitzpatrick, I think it was the Spaniard. Sean Fitzpatrick. Yeah,
they're right.
Our chat are good though. They're very quick. I like it.
They're so brilliant. You guys
getting on me with my earphones last night within milliseconds.
You should have pulled that up. I missed it, but they're right.
I've got it here. I'll get it now.
It's absolutely Sean Fitzpatrick. Whoever said that.
It was the Spaniard. Shout out the Spaniard.
He deserves a shout.
That's brilliant. He's got the Gladiator. Well, what a film as well.
So did I get any of that right?
Like, no, it was Fitzpatrick. Okay. In fairness, the Spaniard said Scott he said Scott Fitzgerald. And then, Sean Fitzgerald, and he changed it to Sean Fitzpatrick.
Look, it's nearly 1 a.m. It's past 1 a.m. on a Saturday morning. There's panic stations all over the Liverpool timeline. Forgive me, sorry.
I go off Twitter more than you though, Chris, don't I? I properly go off it for like 5 hours, and then I just look at our chat and it's kicking off.
City with a super chat says, "Have you guys watched Anne? It's on Hillsborough." Not yet. I'm absolutely booked in to watch that.
Yeah.
Of course.
Is it on ITV or is it BBC? Is it ITV?
ITV. Yeah,
I'll get that on iPlayer. I'll be planning on doing that. I'm going to do it tomorrow, but definitely this week. It looks. I don't know, brilliant's the wrong word, but it looks like you have to watch it.
Mr. Dare I say, Drift is angry today. He's angry. His latest super chat says, "If we don't win a trophy this season, both Klopp and FSG out."
I just add as well, Grizz, it looks very important that because for the show and especially like with the Hillsborough law and all that, it's happening now on Twitter and broadcasting and social media. So I think I'll mention a bit more after I've watched it if tomorrow, because it does seem like it's a very, very important viewing.
I've been set up here. I have to do this because out of my respect and appreciation for the support of the super chat. But I think I'm being set up here. But I'm going to give it a go. Yo, Grizz, try pronounce my name. Irish in brackets. Loving the show, lads. All love. Thoughts on Berrenton Diaz? I'd take him, to be honest with you.
Thulte. I'm still trying to work out the name. I'm completely blank.
Okay, so you know certain Irish names. So, for example, how Caoimhin Kelleher is spelled totally, completely differently.
Yeah. Certain Utufel. That's probably terrible. I'm going to move on with that one.
Wait, hold on. Say that again.
Certain Utufel. That sounds, with the apostrophes, that can't be right, because I know it's the pronunciation. But listen, Evans are our correspondent for translation, so he's not here today.
I got to try it. Shirton O Tortail. And I tried to do an Irish accent as well, so fucking give me some credit there.
Yeah, no, you done good. We'll not start with the Chuameni.
Yeah. Let
Because I
us
know
know
that's
if we
wrong.
were remotely close. Remotely close. Drew, big up yourself as well. But yeah, look, I think we've kind of drifted towards
There's another one from Dan, Chris. Sorry, just to bring it up.
Oh, sorry, so sorry.
That's all right. So
Dan says, love the channel. You are superstars, Grizz and Cole. Thank you. No, you guys are the superstars. Without you, there is no show, there is no stars, there's no super, there's nothing. So big up yourselves, people. It's Jordan O'Toole in Irish, but in Irish. Oh, okay. So that's wow. Amazing.
genuinely, honestly, I love we come in to talk about these things and we find out more, which I
It's
love.
amazing. It's an absolute eye opener what we learn.
It's when people spell it though to help us to pronounce it. I end up doing it. It makes it worse. See, that's how it's.
Andy Joe says, hit the like button or Conroy will spoil Spider-Man. Yeah, you need to
hit the like button. I win at least 300 or I'm going to give the ending away.
Not bad, Grizz. Not bad. People are saying not bad. I didn't do a bad effort there. Shio tone to a hole. I don't think I was far off, Conrad.
No, I think
I was closer than you. I think I was closer than you.
I was in the French way in my head after my pronunciation last night. I think I got it. Was that way?
Yeah, look, I came to have a quick 20-30 minute chat with the people. Let's talk about what's the panic stations, what's everyone popping off. People are going mad. I think the Thiago news is slightly concerning, Conroy. Just going to try to round it up now. I think it's slightly concerning that the fact that he can't put a run of games together. It's very concerning that every minor injury seems to be takes longer.
Yes.
And I get all that. So I get the frustration with that aspect. Anything that you wanted to say on that before we move on to possible lineups tomorrow?
I think you just hit the nail on the head with it. I think it's starting to become frustrating. However, I'm going to see how this one pans out. We'll probably discuss it more at pans out. I think you summed it up there. By the way, just in the chat, I think they were asking about Bretherton Diaz, Grizz, in that last super chat. What was your thoughts on him?
So he is one that we will have to wait for Evan and Avi to give their expert opinions on. I haven't seen enough of him to make a comment. I'm so sorry, brother, who asked about that.
I'll got a little comment, Grizz. He's obviously played for Chile in the Copa America. He's English. He's got a Chilean mum. Funny story. Watch the video. It's through a Football Manager. I think for some reason for the Chile national team, they know he's got a relative there. He was actually not very good. My friend's a Blackburn Rovers fan. Didn't do much for a couple of seasons, or whenever he was there, looked quite poor or not great, ineffective, and then suddenly scored a few goals, went to the Copa America, played quite well, and this season he's been brilliant. However, I don't know how good he is, like in the sense of he is obviously decent and a good player, but he's on a good run right now, good form. But I don't know if he can make the step up.
Okay, we'll have a look at it. We'll have a look at that. We'll ask the experts' opinion, Avi and Evan, tomorrow.
He changed his name though, Grizz. That's not his name. His name was like Ben Raymond or something, Raymond, and he changed it to Diaz because he's playing for the Chilean national team.
As long as it was not Luis.
Yeah, well,
we can't have another Luis.
Well, yeah.
Drew Patel says Vlahovic stronger links to Arsenal. I'm excited. You should be. As I said, a friend of mine at Arsenal says that you guys have made the best financial offer to Vlahovic, but Vlahovic doesn't want you guys. I'm sorry to break it to you. He just doesn't want you guys. Conrad, relax. Don't worry. We'll get someone in as well. Moja C says, thank you for the super chat. FSG made astute deals getting Salamane, Alisson, VVD. Why do you guys want them out? Don't you believe they could pull it off again? I don't want them out at this stage, Moja C. We're just putting up people's opinions that differ from yours. I believe they could pull it off again, but I believe they need to start making an attempt to pull it off.
And you're allowed to criticise as well. You're definitely allowed to criticise.
Absolutely. Is there any other super chats that I've missed?
I think that's there's up, Chris.
Yeah, so look, tomorrow we Shrewsbury, 2:00 kickoff. I started off by talking about the press conference from the assistant coach, Peter Kraweitz, who was very coy, Conway, about in terms of injuries and situations, and he just said, I can't go into the injury situation and the COVID situation. Let me just quickly get Drew's. I believe you guys are in for Isaac as well, who's for me one of the best young strikers in Europe right now. A fantastic talent, but I believe he's got a release clause of about 60 million as well. Usman says, big up both of you, real football men. Appreciate the support, my friend. Thank you very much. Hope you guys, still over 430 views. Hope you guys have smashed the like button. There should be 400 likes, if you know what I mean. Like, someone's just watching for jokes. Like, come on, we're serious here. We're putting out content and hard work for you guys. So all we're asking for is a like, really. That's the only thing we ask for. Anything else is a bonus. Back to tomorrow. I think we will go for a very mix and match type of team, Conway. The hot gossip on the street is Karius. Remember him?
Yep.
Feelings if he starts tomorrow?
I'm okay with it if he does start, to be honest. He obviously was a good keeper in Germany. I know that was years ago, and he has been reasonable at times for us when he played. I know that was a long time ago. So I still think he's decent enough to get through a game at home to Shrewsbury. So yeah, I'd be okay with it, to be honest. Football's not always about sentiment, but it'd be quite nice if he did get to play and he got a good reception. I think, you sometimes got to think about mentally how a final like that would affect a player. So I think that would be quite good for him.
Love watching your opinions, brothers. Always insightful and a good watch. We love having you in the chat as well, my brother. Trez Fresh says Dembele has looked class so far this season. Electric. Ousmane Dembele, when they were emerging at the similar time to
Mbappe.
One of my hot takes was Ousmane Dembele, for me, is more naturally talented. I loved Ousmane Dembele.
Do you remember that game against England in a friendly he played, and he literally took the mick out of his speed was ridiculous. He's obviously genuinely is. He's probably right-footed, but his left foot was just as good, or close to being just as good. I remember thinking it was ridiculous.
Ousmane Dembele is absolutely insanely talented, but unfortunately, one of the most tragic stories in terms of his injuries just haven't let him flow and fulfill that potential. If he has got back into remotely the form that he showed and the fitness that he showed at Rennes and then Dortmund, my God, who would not?
But then
like
it's
him?
hard, isn't it? Because he's kind of blacklisted slightly, Grizz, because people who he wants to play at are maybe just like, nah, we're not going to take the chance. We'll spend.
It's sad.
On
Zed
someone
Malik
else.
says it's sad. It's so sad that he's,
Someone in the chat says genuinely two-footed. Fair enough. Like I know he was very good with both. So yeah, he is ability-wise superb.
Yeah. Who else would you like to see tomorrow then? So if you're okay with Karius, starting tomorrow,
probably someone said maybe Connor Bradley at right back or Nico Williams. I'm probably thinking it'll be Nico. It might be Connor Bradley, but probably Nico. Just to give him game time. Left back.
Robertson's fine, by the way.
But would you play Robertson against Shrewsbury?
Why not? What do you want to do?
I'm thinking he's probably going to play him against. Maybe. Possibly he might do that. I thought he'd maybe stick with Shimikas again, or even if Owen Beck's available. The reason I'm saying that is I think as soon as Robertson's fit, he'll probably put him in the next Premier League game. He might not. Could be wrong. I can't see him starting Robertson tomorrow. Someone said Robertson captain tomorrow. Maybe with that sentiment in it, but for me, it probably won't be. But we'll see. What about yourself, Grizz? Who are you looking forward to seeing?
I'm looking forward to seeing our front three. And I have a feeling that the front three will be Cade Gordon, the fella that I've mentioned to you in the WhatsApp.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, okay.
And Musilowski.
Yeah.
So I think we're in for a bit of a surprise up front tomorrow. And it'll be
maybe
interesting. It'll be
2 months. 2
refreshing.
months too late with Misalowski, isn't it? Now we've been wanting to see this guy for about 2 months, but it'll be
Yeah, look,
interesting.
look. There's always things to look forward to, man. People just always want to. You know what I'm like? I hate glorifying on the negativity. Yes, there may be negativity around the club in terms of injuries and COVID and whatnot, but I hate just glorifying that and just sticking on that. I think there is things to look forward to. I think, the return of Curtis Jones starting. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing another start for Tyler Morton.
Good
And
shout.
I'm looking forward to seeing Kate Gordon. I'm absolutely am, and Messilowski, as I call him.
Yeah.
I want to see it. These are the kind of things that we live for. Like, it's not always worry about what we haven't got. Sometimes look forward to what we have got, and hopefully they can put on a show. I mean, that's where I stand, Conroy.
No, I agree with that. I think that's a good shout. I think Cade Gordon obviously played against Norwich, played quite well. He couldn't play in the Champions League because he wasn't in the. He couldn't qualify to play the game for the two dead robbers we had. So yeah, I think he'll relish his opportunity tomorrow.
Yeah, look, City says start Robertson, getting match fit, need some leadership, especially if we're going to go with a young attack. That I think we will, a young midfield and a young attack.
Maybe.
Then we definitely need some experience at the back, and I think we will have a fair bit of experience at the back. I think we'll be very strong at the back. I think we'll get Virgil van Dijk a run out. I think we'll get Robertson a run out. I think Fabinho will get a little run out as well.
Yeah. The only reason I'm saying that, Grizz, is he missed games because of suspension. It wasn't like he was injured and needs to, that. I get the Riven point. That's the reason I said I didn't think he would start.
Yeah. Well, there you go. El Lad has he changed his name? Hashtag
Possibly.
FSG will get exposed when Klopp leaves. I don't think he had that earlier, did he?
I don't think so.
But exactly, Grizz. It's time to see what these academy graduates have. Need fresh blood, anyways. Well, there you go. We need fresh bloods. No, I think this is one player that I would like to have an absolute rest, especially the situation with AFCON. Bobby having COVID. He's one player that I wouldn't want anywhere near.
I don't think you don't need to play him tomorrow,
Shrewsbury.
so just leave it. For me, you just leave it with Jota. You don't have to. Don't take a chance tomorrow.
Absolutely, and Red Steve makes a very good point. It's 5 subs tomorrow, lads. So we've got to bear that in mind. You can mix it up a bit. I think we'll go for a young strike force, and experience at the back, and that's the way we should. If you give the youngsters a platform and a foundation to say, go and play your game, do what you got to do, do what you've done, which has brought you to this level.
Yeah, especially at Anfield as well.
Especially at Anfield, it's always a packed house. Do what you got to do. We've got a few of the big dogs at the back, so to speak, to cover you. You go out and do what you want, and I think that's something to look forward to as well. I'm looking forward to it tomorrow.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the thing is, see, every time it seems to be a game at Anfield in a cup, like FA Cup and stuff, it never seems to be one of the televised ones when it's at the bigger team's home stadium. I do understand that to a certain extent because you want the kind of the possible upsets on BBC or whatever, ITV. But yeah, I think we'll all find a way to keep up with the game tomorrow. But yeah, I think you talk about old and experience at the back, or like just giving them the platform to just use go and express yourselves, and we'll keep it tight back here. I think that's a great analogy for the game.
This is probably the last super chat of the day before we wrap it up, guys. We've gone way over time, but we love talking to you guys so much. Trez Fresh says Curtis Jones needs more run of games, even when the others are back. I agree. This is where you work out and you find out if he's got the minerals, if he's got the talent, if he's got the mentality to fight for his place amongst senior members, more renowned names. And, you make or break a player. Hopefully you don't break him, but this is where he needs to be given the opportunity, right?
No, absolutely. I think the thing, I've told you before, Grizz, I feel like, and obviously the chat can have their feelings on it, I do feel like there's a weird narrative around Jones sometimes. It's like people are very quick to have a go at him when, through my knowledge, I'm not saying he's obviously inconsistent as a young player, but he's literally made one mistake against West Brom, and it's like people are going to make mistakes, but we don't see me. Some fans, it's like, I'm not just saying from that, but I think before Elliott came in, he had good spells. I thought he'd done reasonably well, and there's a lot of potential there. But I know some fans just don't tend to like Jones, and I'm not one of them. I think there's a good player there. And I think he showed it at times as well. Like, for me, I think he's going to get better, but definitely I agree with that point. Not just for tomorrow. I think like for me, if he can get his consistency up, could definitely be a part for us going forward in the next couple of years.
People asking where it will be shown. Amit says it will be on iPlayer, a red button. Thank you for that.
Well, thanks, Amit. I just Googled that earlier and they said it wasn't. Unless they've changed that, I'll check that out tomorrow, but thanks for that.
I'll tell you what, if we can get to 300 likes before the end of the show, which is literally going to be in the next few minutes.
I will not spoil Spider-Man.
No, I will give my predicted lineup for tomorrow, Conrad.
Yeah.
So the privilege,
people want that more than
people will get the privilege of my predicted lineup.
Yeah, which is usually right, to be fair to him.
Nah, it's very difficult to predict tomorrow. But let's get up to 300 likes, and can someone let me know when there's 300 likes, and then we will wrap it up with the show for tonight. But yeah, apart from that, Conrad, look, we thought we'd come on, have a bit of a chat. What's the panic? Why is LFC Twitter going absolutely mental?
Yeah.
I get the frustration. I get sort of a lot of the points a lot of people make. But I just think there's sometimes I think we've got into a zone, Conroy, where there's the extremes of both ends.
It's like everything, isn't it? There's no balance now. We've said that numerous times, but I think as well, Grizz, let's be honest, spaces on Twitter are pretty good at times, but like late night spaces and stuff, getting people maybe riled up or maybe exaggerating facts when there's not substantial evidence yet. I think it's very easy now. We just social media in general. I've told you, like we've had this conversation with some of the other guys. Just take a break. Just get off Twitter for a bit. It's very easy to exaggerate stuff. We need to see when we've got more evidence, and then we can look at it. But you don't need to panic. If it does happen, it is what it is, Grizz. There's not much we can do about it. We just need to deal with the cards we've got, and that's football.
People, Mr. Dare I say it, Drift is on a mission. He wants. Well, I'll let you read this one out and.
Became, I think, Man United fan. If FFG stay forever, no football anymore. Wow. I think that's correct the way you were meaning it. Well, let's be honest, mate. Man United spent hundreds and hundreds, and was it nearly $1 billion? So this goes back to the earlier point. You can spend money, but if you don't have the right philosophy, the right system in place, and the right people to go with that, it's not successful. Especially now, systems are very important in football now. Systems are 9 out of 10 of the top teams are systems, unless like even Argentina winning the Copa America. Messi individually was amazing, but Scaloni put a system in place to allow him that freedom. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
make them solid. So
yes, Chris, just had my kebab after a few drinks with a few lashings of. I won't say what it says. I won't say what it means in my language. I'll say it how he spelt it. Bond par sauce, beautiful.
I think we've had 300 likes, Chris, by the way.
People from the subcontinent will know exactly what Jag's talking about. Well done, Jag. Enjoy your kebab, my friend. 300 likes, okay.
I think so. If the chat could confirm, I think it's 300 likes.
That's a fair shout. That's a fair effort. It's only fair. I'll give my predicted lineup. I think we'll have Conroy. I think we'll have Karius in goal. I think we'll have Bradley, Konate, Virgil, and Robertson as the back four. I think we'll go with Fabinho, Morton, and Curtis Jones in midfield. And I think I've just got a feeling, I hope we see a vibrant Cade Gordon, Musilowski, and a certain Max Waltman up front. That would be nice. Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Come on, Klopp. Pick that for us, and we'll be happy. Because you know what? I'll feel secure with the boys at the back that we're not going to score. Yeah. And then just let the front
express
six, you could say. Even Morton, I want him to be just expressive. And we've seen him in this number 6 role. Let's see another side to your game. Join in with Curtis Jones with the front 3 lads.
Yeah, I think Jones will relish tomorrow for that, for just having that freedom to express. Definitely.
Yeah. So look, let's see. That's just a prediction, people. No need to sort of come and start hurling abuse at me and saying, "Oh, Grizz, you said this." It's just my prediction. It's just a guess.
No one starts on us.
Do you know what I mean? If you start on me, you know what you're going to get anyway. You're just going to get back chat because you know me. I can give it and take it and all that kind of business. But nah, I love you guys. It's been an amazing show. It's been brilliant. It was supposed to be a quick 30-minute chat about how we're feeling, but it turned into a mini debate about FSG again, Conroy. We just can't get away from it, can we?
We'll get that. That show's definitely it's going to be a cracker, guys. But we really need to have that as one show because there's so much to discuss.
Yeah, look. If there's no Karius, no harm, Zoko. I just got an inkling and a feeling. That's all it is. Look, and then he's telling me no Musilowski. Okay, Zoko, I get your point. I get your message. It's just my opinion. It's my prediction. Do your prediction, man. Put your prediction in the chat or leave it in the comments afterwards. But listen, this has been, I don't even know what it's been. It's been Why the Panic Show, right? It's literally been Why the Panic Show. Hope me and Conroy have calmed you down by speaking about Spider-Man and kebabs with very, very high levels of chili sauce, and some amazing chat in the chat. Amazing content from the chat. Like, if you know what I mean. Amazing content from the people in the chat. That's what I mean.
Absolutely.
And score prediction, people are saying. Mustafa's asking score prediction. He's been a brilliant mod for me, so it's only fair we give our predictions.
I'll go for 2-0. 2-0 tomorrow.
I'll go for 3-0 tomorrow.
There you go. Good
so
shout.
There you go. Yeah, Zed Malik agrees with me, so I've won.
You've won.
Edward says we will lose 1-0. He's a loser. We don't
get the
have
money on. I'd put a bet on right now if that's the case.
2-1 RB. We can't concede if that's the back four that I predicted.
That'd be a tight game if it is.
Exactly. We don't want tight games. But people, we must go. It's absolutely wow. It's way beyond my bedtime. But then again, what is my bedtime? Eyes emoji.
Might just be getting up.
Exactly. Conroy, see you soon, my brother. We'll be back tomorrow after the match for the Red Fellas.
We've got a watch along tomorrow as well, Chris.
Oh my God!
Is that on? That is on Chris Can. It's watch along tomorrow.
Absolutely, the AFCON, Conroy and Avi
Cameroon.
Watch along. Absolutely. How can I forget, guys? Look out for it. I'll set that up as well. We've got AFCON watch along, and then we will have the main show,
Red Fellas.
the main Red Fellas podcast for your Sunday night trimmings. We will all catch you very, very soon. Look after yourself. Take care.